dude. Wicked.
The location is a stunning arena enclosed by Greece's classical ruins. The prize, victory on one of the most prestigious rounds in the WRC. The event, one of motorsport's toughest trials. This is the WRC's Rally Acropolis. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen. First run in 1953, it's one of the oldest rallies. It's tough to survive and even tougher to win. The rock-strewn roads are a melting pot of nightmares. Errors are not forgiven, and even the most experienced drivers can find themselves on three wheels. World champ Marcus Grönholm's never won in Greece, but he's on top of his game, having won 3 out of 5 rallies this year. But form doesn't count for much on the Acropolis, and the Finn is unusually reserved.
Marcus, you said you want to win this rally, and you want to win it now. Can you win it this year?
We don't know yet, but I think it's possible. But there is many drivers who want to win and have a good chance also. So I am not sure here. Nobody can be sure in this round.
Championship leader Richard Burns has tasted Acropolis victory back in 1999 for Subaru. He'd love to get his first win for Peugeot, but points are his main concern.
My plan is to get out of this rally and also Cyprus, the next two quite tough rallies, still leading the championship. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for.
Carlos Sainz is a favorite as well. The Spaniard has won the event 3 times, the first back in 1990. 13 years later, he's just as competitive. He's won already for Citroën on the equally rough terrain of Turkey.
I think we have been working hard with the car. We have been trying to improve all the time, and I see the car reasonable, competitive here, but you never know until you start the rally. For sure, the first day will not be easy for us. We are starting third, but nevertheless, it's okay. I hope it's okay in any case.
The spotlight will shine brightly this weekend on Colin McRae. He's had a record 5 wins on the Acropolis, but can he do it again in the Citroën Zara? McRae's last 2 rallies have ended in retirement. As the highest paid driver in the sport, the pressure's on to turn his season around.
Carlos obviously was very happy with the car. He's done more mileage in it than I have now. But it started off well, very well. The last 2 haven't been perfect, but it's only 2 rallies out of 14, so there's a long way to go, and I'm not really panicking about the situation at the moment.
At Ford, there's a new sponsorship deal and a new man at the top, Jost Capito. Driver Marco Martin desperately wants a WRC win. He nearly did it here last year, but was denied by a puncture. He's been fast in the new Focus, but the car's broken down twice. If the engine stays together, this weekend could be his first win.
Everybody keeps saying that on the paper it looks good. We were fast last year. The Ford has been strong here over 3 years, I think. So on paper it's so good that almost they can give the trophy to us now. I don't think there is more pressure than normally. We just always want to do our best and get the best possible result, and that's no different.
There's still no news on Tommi Mäkinen's future at Subaru, but Petter Solberg's not going anywhere. He's signed up for the Japanese team until 2006. This is one of your last chances to see the Skoda Octavia in action. The WRC's biggest car is making way for the smaller, more nimble Fabia. Drivers Didier Auriol and Tony Gardemeister can't wait for the car to make its debut in Germany. And finally, Hyundai. It's been a long time since there's been anything to celebrate for the Korean team. With just 3 points, they're buried at the bottom of both the Drivers' and Manufacturers' Championships. Five rounds down, and this is how the Drivers' title race is shaping up. Burns leads by the narrowest of margins, and there are 7 great drivers right behind him who have him in their sights. The rally may take its name from the famous Acropolis in Athens, but the action takes place in the countryside to the north of the capital. This year, the rally base is in the city of Lamia. And with more on what lies ahead on the rough mountain roads, we check in quickly now with our experts, Penny Mallory and Nikki Grist.
So here we are, this time in Greece, back in Europe, and it's hot here. It's 30-something degrees, and the championship is hotting up too. Nikki Grist, it's round 6. It's really important time of the year, isn't it, where teams start to establish their championship hopes?
I think so, and there's quite a few teams that are really hungry to get some good results. Not only the teams, but also the drivers as well.
Now, it's a tough rally, isn't it? It's hot inside the car. It's really hard on the physical well-being of the drivers, but also they've got to drive tactically to save their tyres and save their cars from damage on the rocks.
Yes, it's just the high ambient temperatures, not just in the air, but also in the road. I mean, you've got a lot of exposed bedrock, a lot of loose rocks, and, you know, it can all take its toll on suspension and tyres. You have to drive level-headedly, but you also have to drive flat out. It's not so easy. You need experience.
Now, there's a good story flying around this morning, isn't there, with Peugeot running an air conditioning system, which no one else is running. And I've already spoken to Corrado, and he's very defensive already because he's been told he can only run it on the first day of the rally for a few hours, and very defensive. But yet again, Peugeot seem to be one step ahead of everyone else.
Well, they are. I mean, it's all there. But, of course, the biggest problem that all of them have got is you put an air conditioning unit on a car and all the temperatures go up in the engine. The temperatures go up, you lose horsepower. So the others are very reticent to actually use it. But Peugeot want to use it because Richard Burns finds it uncomfortable in the hot conditions. If he's cool and comfortable, he can perhaps drive quicker. That's what Peugeot are looking at.
But they're only going to lose 3 to 4 horsepower, which is astonishing.
Well, it is, but when you're this competitive and you're fighting over tenths of seconds, 3 to 4 horsepower could be quite a lot. But certain teams don't like it.
Now, OK, money on the table. Who would you put your money on winning here?
The Focus, and I think it's going to be Marco Martin. He drove very well last year. The car is strong enough. I know it can win this rally.
I look back over the results of the Acropolis Rally, and in the last decade, only Ford and Subaru have won here. And I think that's exactly the same result. I'm with you all the way. I think it's Marco Martin in a Focus. It's his turn at last. We'll see.
Probably not a bad pick. 22 stages indeed will tell the tale, and since there are no easy sections on this rally, it's essential to make sure that everything's just perfect. Championship leader Richard Burns will be the first out, and that means the first to discover what's in store.
This is a classic Acropolis Rally stage. At just under 1,700 metres 3 weeks ago, this stage was covered in snow. Quite incredible being Greece. The stage starts very rough, but here is a great open section with smooth roads and probably one of the smoothest sections of the rally, which the drivers really enjoy. After a series of bumps and jumps and deep water splashes, the stage gets very, very twisty and slow through trees. It's not an easy start to the rally.
Because of his starting position, Richard Burns should be slower than his rivals due to the fact that he will be sweeping the loose gravel off of the road. That loose gravel means extra wheel spin, and the Englishman has to be careful and preserve his tires.
The K right times may be long, to easy right long, braking 20, hairpin left.
First to take advantage of Burns sweeping the road is Marcus Grunholm. The Finn is 10 seconds faster. Carlos Sainz is loving his new Citroen. Right away, he shows his speed. 1 second faster than Grunholm makes him the man to beat. Sebastian Loeb made his Acropolis debut last year and finished an impressive 7th. He won't improve on that this year. It's an engine failure for the Frenchman.
We broke the engine at 11 kilometers from the start, the first leg, the first stage. So I'm not very happy, but it's like this.
Already there are problems for Citroen. Not what Colin McRae needs to hear. We're just getting started. Stay with us for more from the Acropolis Rally. Welcome back to stage one of the Acropolis Rally. With Sebastian Loeb already out, Citroën has their fingers crossed that Colin McRae has a trouble-free run.
100. 6 over crest and 6 left. And left tightens to 4 minus.
How fast is Colin?
And 6 left over crest into 4 left plus over crest.
Well, right now, Carlos' time is the one to beat. But Colin betters it, and for now, he's the rally leader. Next out is Petter Solberg, who is always fast but struggles to consistently put a whole rally together. However, the Norwegian is always exciting to watch. After stalling the engine, he desperately tries restarting the car. The engine's got what they call in the WRC heat soak, which is similar to a vapor lock. The internal temperature of the engine is so high that the fuel is evaporating before it can fire. The problem cost Solberg plenty of seconds. This is the first taste of the Acropolis stages for the new Ford Focus. Marco Martin is undaunted by the conditions and goes fastest so far. With Ford's new sponsorship deal, Francois Duval's Ford Focus has a slightly different paint scheme to his teammate. This time, it looks like Duval's gonna beat Martin. First blood to the Belgian. After stage one, he's the rally leader. On board now with Didier Auriol, who scored his best result with Skoda, 6th in Argentina at the last round.
Gauche à fond, attention intérieur, sur droite à fond, sur gauche à fond, sortie large, et piège 40 mètres, gauche 5 plus planche, sortie large, piège 40 mètres, gauche 5 plus planche, sortie large.
Armin Schwartz won't be adding to his points tally. A loose stone has broken the cam belt, which means the engine instantly stops. Game over for Schwartz.
Der Motor ist aus.
This is how it stacks up. Francois Duval leads from Ford teammate Marco Martin. Hot on their heels is the Citroën pairing of Colin McRae and Carlos Sainz. Playing the role of road sweeper has left Richard Burns with a big task ahead. One stage in and he's in the bottom half of the leaderboard, almost 20 seconds off the leaders. Stay with us, we're coming right back for more. One stage down in the 2003 Acropolis Rally, and already the event's lived up to its reputation. There's still 20 miles of gravel to go before the first service. Prior to stage two, Colin McRae had a huge scare. He stopped in the road section to change tires, but when he tried to fire the car, it wouldn't turn over. It took a while for the Citroën to finally respond. He arrived at the start 5 minutes late and earned a 50-second time penalty. His chances of winning are not over, but it just got a lot tougher. Things aren't going any better for Richard Burns. He's losing lots of time.
Plus, in, and slow K left, 20, hairpin right. Tar to medium right, 60, medium left plus over bump in, 30 braking, easy left to slow K right, long to K right tightens.
This is the #1 driver in the world, and it's easy to see why while watching Marcus Grönholm at work. Reading the pace notes is Grönholm's co-driver and brother-in-law, Timo Rautiainen. Up to 5th place now, Grönholm has his eye on Carlos Sainz in 4th.
Oikein eri, pidä sisällä, 200 ja nyppy 5.
But the Spaniard has collided with a rock and the car's not handling well, and it will cost him. He's now down in 8th.
Para izquierda buena más corta, Sassar. Para derecha buena más en quinta, se tira atrás, Sassar. Para izquierda buena más corta en quinta, abrirse 1. Izquierda buena más, se cierra y se cierra poco.
Meanwhile, it's Marco Martin's turn to be the fastest Ford.
Power.
Incredibly, he spins the car, but still sets the fastest time on the stage and takes the rally lead after stage 2. Tommy Mackin is lying 4th, but doesn't feel the Subaru's handling just right. Back at service, he's planning on a change to the setup, hoping to come back out and fight for the lead. Hyundai's day goes from bad to worse. Freddie Loix's accent developed a damper problem, and so he's slow through the second stage, and he's caught and passed by Mikko Urvonen. Loix makes it to the end of the second stage, but on the way to stage 3, the car decides it can take no more. Loix and Schwartz are done before lunchtime. Richard Burns charged hard through the end of stage 3, even though he's still sweeping the road.
And flat right, 70 braking, fast left, minus, tightened.
It was a close call, and right away Richard knows he's got to have picked up some damage.
Richard finished the stage.
It's okay as long as the front's not damaged.
Yeah.
In the third Peugeot is Harry Rovanperä. He has a better road position than his two teammates, but he feels the surface isn't really cleaning. It doesn't stop him, however, from going fastest on stage 3. The leaderboard now has a new look. Martin has a 3-second lead over Francois Duval. Grönholm's trouble-free run has seen him move up to 3rd. Richard Burns is nowhere to be seen, down in 10th. The damage to the 206 clear to see as he checks in its service.
You've been off the pace. That's more than just road cleaning.
A little bit on the first stage. I couldn't really see the road very well for a few kilometres because the aircon onto the screen actually made it mist up. So we turned it off. It took a few kilometres for it to clear, and I can't reach the screen from the seat. So without taking off my belt, so we just waited, and eventually we probably lost about 5 seconds.
So the air conditioning bringing mixed blessings as well.
It works very well, but maybe not first thing in the morning.
Were you benefiting from a cleaner line on those first 3 stages?
Yeah, for sure. It's better for me than it is for Richard, but I think we are not so far away from the leading cars anymore because Sebastian retired and Colin is running behind us, so it's really didn't help us.
You must be incredibly frustrated. You've had so much bad luck this year.
Yeah, I can't believe myself. In Argentina, the first stage, we stopped with the engine problem, and the third stage, we stopped completely. We had to retire. Here now in the first stage, after 4 or 5 Ks, again we had to retire. So yes, I'm not feeling so well at the moment.
Still to come from Acropolis, the most daunting stage of the rally, El Actia. 21 miles of heat, dust, and
Rocks.
Bad rocks.
Get the inside dirt on what's new in the world of two wheels. Join Greg White from Greg's Garage for Two Wheel Tuesday. You're about to witness the toughest few hours of rallying the crews will face all year. One thing's for sure, there's going to be even more casualties on the 2003 Rally Acropolis. The first test of the afternoon is Rengini. At just 7 miles, it's not the hardest stage in Greece, but there's plenty of danger along the way. Marcus Grönholm started stage 4 intent on getting up with the leaders. But his trouble-free run came to an end. The spin is an expensive mistake. The few seconds lost are enough to drop the Finn from 3rd to 6th. That puts Grönholm back in the sights of Carlos Sainz. He weaves his way up and over the mountain 5 seconds faster than Grönholm. Now just 4 seconds separate the pair. Peter Solberg's not happy with the way his Subaru Impreza is cornering.
115.
The car stalls a second time, and Petter's getting frustrated.
Line into hairpin, right tightens.
Harry Rovanperä is now the best of the Peugeots. Just watch how much faster he is than his Peugeot teammate.
Pitkä oikea täys, tilaa yli, 107. Maali.
Now Harry's the one challenging the Ford duo, who are still in front. Rovanperä's two-stage wins put him within 15 seconds of Duval, but he'll be pushing hard to catch Marco Martin, who enters the rally's toughest stage with a narrow lead.
The longest stage of the rally, and it's going to be a tough one for the crews. We've had dramas here in the past, and it's absolutely vital for the crews to get this stage right. This particular section is narrow through a gorge, and also a lot of danger at the sides. Very easy to make a mistake. Shortly after this, they turn onto a new section, quite twisty, uphill, and then a very twisty section before the finish. One thing you can guarantee, there could be dramas in here.
Richard Burns is still battling, but it'll take a lot of luck to make up any time in here. Apparently the only luck Burns has is bad luck. Not far from the stage start, Burns loses third gear, making for a torturous drive to the end. He's now 29 seconds off the pace. Marcus Grönholm sees this long stage as an opportunity to make up some of his lost time, and he's flying. Incredibly, at the end of the stage, he's up to third. Colin McRae's efforts to win back time have now been rewarded with 8th place and a possible points finish. But these muddy conditions trip McRae up, and he spins and stalls the car. However, he's still second fastest in El Adia, an amazing bit of driving from the Acropolis master. Still no trouble at the top for Marco Martin, guided through the stage by co-driver Michael Park. Martin is on the gas.
And 6 right through dip. 30 crest.
Whoa, that's a problem. 12 miles ago and Martin's hood flies open. This is the same stage section where last year Marco had the lead by 50 seconds, blew a tire and the Moose system failed. He might be jinxed in this very section here at Acropolis. But Martin impresses as he loses only 6 seconds.
Marco, the bonnet's open. What happened?
I don't know, it just went through the bump and just it came open. And it blocked all the cooling inside the car for 20 Ks. It's warm.
Michael, when that kind of thing happens, pace notes are essential.
They're very essential, but the problem is that Marco can't see very much. It took both of made the pillars really, really wide, so he couldn't see the road at all. It was quite exciting. Don't really want to do that again.
Francois Duval and co-driver Stefan Prévost have only been together for a few rallies, but already they've been on the podium in Turkey, and now they are challenging for the lead in Greece.
Pour léger gauche 120 étroit. Et frein 25, droite 60, faire retenir. À fond, faire retenir. Combien 60.
This is what can happen when there's a mistake with the pace notes. No way the young Belgian's getting out of that ditch. At the end of the stage, Francois' father is waiting for his son, only to be told his rally is over. It's a sad end to a great drive.
Just the last corner before the off on the road, correction on the note. Yes, not understand my co-driver. It's not easy, just a little bit off on the road.
The longest stage of the rally would claim one more victim. Tony Gardemeister developed turbo problems, which forced him to retire on the way to service. Victim number 5 of Acropolis this year. More changes on the leaderboard. Martin holds on to his lead, but now it's 2 Peugeots he has to fend off. Martin must be praying that there are no more nasty surprises waiting ahead. Back back at service. Marco Martin's crew are hard at work getting the car ready for the rest of the day's stages, including some spring cleaning in the engine to get rid of all the dust. In the meantime, Harry Rovanperä is also in the middle of the fight.
Harry, you're the man on the move today. 3 stage wins. You must be very pleased with that performance.
Yes, of course. And morning is not going well first 2, but after that I found what we need doing, and it's working well. I hope the next 2 is working well also.
Marcus, you've completed 5 stages of the rally now. Are you happy with your performance so far?
Okay, the road position is not so fantastic, so it's okay, but only one small spin we lost, maybe 8 seconds. That's the only thing I'm not happy with, but otherwise okay. I try now to keep the same, to keep in contact with Martin, and we will see tomorrow then.
4th place Citroen driver El Matador Carlos Sainz has 2 Subarus behind him, 2 Peugeots in front of him. We'll see how he can do when we come back to the Acropolis Rally. Five stages in, and the Acropolis Rally has been a tough battle so far, but the end of the day is drawing close, and a few crews will be relieved just to make it back to base. Marcus Grönholm turns up the heat a bit on stage 7, posting the best time, closing the gap to leader Marco Martin to just under 16 seconds. Carlos Sainz has been struggling to get on the pace that he would like, but with the Spaniard's experience at this event, he knows a steady performance could mean a podium finish. Petter Solberg's problems seem to be behind him. The Norwegian claims his first fastest stage time, climbs 2 spots to 4th.
Opens 30.
Tommy Mäkinen has not had the best of days. Carlos Sainz is closing in, and Tommy has got to get quicker. He's not. Tommy's lost 5th. Harry Rovanperä's 2nd place looks pretty secure, however. It's a sure bet he'll be focused on Martin tomorrow. Once again, the Estonian's been stunning, and he has a healthy lead going into the 2nd day.
2 plus right, Harry. Watch the water then. 4 plus left long.
On the way back to the service park for the evening, disaster struck for Marcus Grönholm. The world champ had a fuel hose disconnect, a crucial blow to his championship hopes.
Good day, and we were planning to continue tomorrow, so now we are here. No results.
You're 2nd going into the 2nd day of the rally. Are you pleased that you've won so many stages today and you've got faster?
No. When everything's working well, it's a very happy feeling.
You think you can catch Marco Martin tomorrow?
Tomorrow is new day, and we will see, and of course we try.
You're leading at the end of the 1st day. You must be very pleased with your performance today.
If I'm still leading, then I'm happy, yes, but it's been very, very hard day.
Grönholm's retirement is good news for his rivals, and they'll be hoping to make the most of it. With less than a minute separating the top 6, anybody could still win this one. Now let's check in for more with Nikki Christ.
Well, Ralph, I'm here in the middle of the service area with some spectators waiting for the crews to come back after a very eventful first day. I had a chat with Colin earlier, and I think his 4th win on the trot is really under great threat after losing those 50 seconds this morning before stage 2. You know, he told me that he tried to start the car after changing tyres and putting his crash helmet on, but it just wouldn't restart. Had to reset the computers twice, still nothing. Into reverse and bumping it backwards down the road, still didn't start. But then after finally resetting it a 3rd time, managed to get it to start. but pulled into the time control and lost all that time. Very frustrating, especially when you consider that he's now got the car sorted and he's been driving exceptionally well. One other snippet for you, when Marco Martin had his bonnet fly up, he was asking poor old Beef, his co-driver, to actually tell him where the end of the long corners were, because he couldn't actually see them. Beef said, no, listen, the driving is up to you. I'm just a co-driver. I think that's all for me now, Ralph. I look forward to bringing you some more news tomorrow. Back to you, Ralph.
And Nicky apparently working real hard on that 10. Well, with Grönholm out, the door's open for Richard Burns to increase his championship lead. That is, if he can get up into the points. Stay with us.
So 8 stages today, the first set of 3 being the longest distance that the cars will have to do on the same set of tyres. 5 of the stages are repeated from yesterday, including Elatia-Zelli, the longest stage of the rally at 35 kilometres. And yesterday, that's where most of the action happened. Remember Marco Martin and his bonnet flying up onto the windscreen? Well, last night, Marco said that all he wanted was a clean run through the stage, and any visibility he could get would be a bonus. It's not just the rally action that's going to hot up here today. Temperatures are set to soar to 35 degrees.
That translates to 95 degrees for most of us. The Parnassos Mountains are 125 miles to the north of the Greek capital, Athens. Clinging to the mountainsides, the roads climb nearly 1.5 miles, and they're covered in rough gravel. Anything can happen on today's 8 stages, but one thing's for sure, there's going to be a good fight.
Colin, you're 56 seconds down on Marco Martin going into day 2. Can you catch that leading pack today?
We'll try for sure, but we tried yesterday and the gap more or less stayed the same. So, you know, without the 50 seconds it would look good, but it looks like it's going to be difficult.
How are you feeling this morning? You've been in this situation a few times recently.
Yes, it's the same feeling. I'm quite used to it. It's good to be leading, but it doesn't mean that we have to do something different. It's going to be this same flat-out driving, I think.
We're gonna try hard today, not maximum, because it's still a long rally, and I will tell you a lot will happen. It's a very hard and tough rally, so we have to wait a little bit and see. Try to be a little bit better on the pace today compared with yesterday, and we will see.
Here's what lies ahead. 93 competitive miles over this terrain, and one of these rocks is sure to claim another Acropolis victim. Richard Burns is first in his stage 9, Bendenitsa.
50, slight left, 50.
His championship lead is in serious jeopardy, and he desperately needs to get into the points.
30, flat left in long, 20. Flat right, 20. Flat right minus in 20.
The man blocking his way is Didier Auriol, who is trying to protect his 10-second lead. The Skoda's developed handling problems, and the former world champ can't hold off the Peugeot. Burns takes 8th. Colin McRae is also on a charge up the leaderboard.
3 Rex Plus tightens and left tight to slow 3 into 6 left over crest. And 6 right tightens and...
Amazingly, he matches Richard Burns' speed to the fraction of a second. That allows him to grab 6th place away from Gilles Panizzi. Tommy Mäkinen launches into the battle, but as he attacks the stage, you can see he's catching the dust trail left by Panizzi. It obscures his view just a little, but the distraction is slowing him down. Remember, the weakest part of a tire is the sidewall. So one of the keys to surviving here at the Acropolis Rally is to keep the wheels straight as much as possible. If you have the car sideways, you're risking more of an opportunity for a rock to puncture that sidewall. Keep the wheels straight, use the tread to roll over those rocks, and you reduce the risk of a puncture.
Pitkä oikea Erik, heti hyppy vasemmalle sumppuun, heti oikea ja servo vasen kiertoraa.
Tommy, how was the first stage this morning?
A bit dusty. Quite a lot of dust actually. It was sometimes very, very difficult to see, and visibility was very bad.
Se abre, acaba rápida, ojo.
Mackinnon's chances of catching Carlos Sainz are growing slimmer. There was just 0.3 of a second separating them at the start of the stage. The clock on the right will show how much the dust has caused Tommy. 4 seconds, and Carlos pulls a little further away. The fastest man on the stage is the other Subaru belonging to Petter Solberg.
Short 2 left plus, opens keep in 30. Early 5 right plus, extra long keep in.
The Norwegian said he wasn't going to go on maximum attack. This looks pretty close.
4 left plus, tightens don't cut, to flat 5 right, 80.
Peugeot's Harry Rovanpera lost second gear, but he still sets a good time, just 5 seconds slower than Solberg. Marco Martin's only problem this morning is the dust, but he too could do without it. He needs to extend his narrow advantage.
Right into 3 plus left, narrows. 20, 4 minus left, 4 right, 40, 3 left.
Despite the gearbox problems, Harry Rovanpera is closing in on this Ford. There's 3 battles to look out for. Exactly 4 seconds separate Martin from Rovanpera. Mackinnon still in with a shout of catching Sainz, and Panizzi won't be letting go of McRae. Richard Byrne's good start relegates Skoda's Didier Auriol to the bottom half of the leaderboard.
This stage is made up of 2 classic Acropolis tests. It starts virtually flat out for the majority, turns right on tarmac here, then turns left, and it starts to climb quite steeply uphill. This road is very smooth with some lovely open corners, very popular with spectators, but also for the drivers. They have to be very careful here as tyre wear can be an issue. Shortly after this, they turn onto a narrower, rockier surface through quarries towards the end.
The fans have arrived at Bauxite expecting dust. And from these shots of Richard Burns, you can see just how much the cars kick up as they blast through. In the last stage, Colin McRae set exactly the same time as Richard Burns. He did it again. Both British drivers absolutely dead even. Dust problems are now the least of Mackinnon's worries. The Subaru's rear shock absorbers have taken a pounding, and he's fighting the car.
Vasen täysmiinus sisältä ja oikea 4. Huomio nyppy oikealle 10, pitkä K-vasen.
With Tommy struggling, that means Carlos Sainz is finally somewhat safe from an attack. Guided by co-driver Mark Marty, the Spaniard starting to enjoy himself. At the finish, the gap to Mackinnon is now 28 seconds. Different stage, same winner. Solberg's 2 in a row means he's now a real threat to the leaders.
30. Short 5 right, 80. Short 6 left over crest long, tightens keep in, to slippy maybe 2 right minus tightens. Half long, 2 right minus tightens. Half long, opens 150. Flat at 6 left plus, 200. Line into 6 left long, opens 60. Flat 5 left plus, half long, 60. Flat 5 left plus, half long, 60. Short 4 right plus, keep in. 40, keep right of a crest, early 2 left plus, half long, opens 60. 2 right minus tightens, 1 plus. Opens 60. Flat 6 left, extra long, opens 80. 6 right plus the crest, 50, line into 4 left, tightens narrow half, 2 tightens.
Harry Rovanpera has done a great job to make it here without second gear, but now the situation has become much worse. Third has also gone away. These are the gears he needs the most on this mountain. imagine trying to drive your car with only the lowest and highest gears. For Harry Rovanperä, it means an immense loss of time and a great deal of frustration. Rally leader Marco Martin is struggling as well. He's still going flat out and starting to catch the fin in the stage. For the second day in a row, Martin's driving blind, this time due to the dust.
3 plus long, 5 right, 30, easy left, 25 plus right.
Once again, he survives and with his lead intact.
Super, when we cleared the stage, the dust was really, really bad.
Okay, copy B. Still here, okay. That makes sense.
Maybe it was Harry's dust, he's still on the line here.
We were having a good stage, but then Harry was so slow that we had a really bad dust problem. We almost stopped twice just to see where the road is, so we lost too much time to better now, I think.
Rovanperä's demise leaves a new look to the standings. The challenge to Martin now comes from Petter Solberg. Sainz continues to run away from Mäkinen, who's now threatened by McRae.
Let's have a look how dust affects the visibility for drivers on this event. Here, Marco Martin is just getting into some serious dust clouds. Meanwhile, at the same point, Petter Solberg is having a clear run. With virtual spectator, we can see that both drivers are neck and neck at this section of the stage. But Martin now has dust all the way to the finish. Solberg has no such problems. He is flat out with perfect visibility. At the finish of the stage, Martin has lost almost 1 second per kilometre to Solberg. That's a massive 10 seconds to the charging Norwegian.
You're watching the Acropolis Rally.
With the demise of the Safari Rally, Acropolis is now the toughest event for man and machine. It's the rough conditions, the protruding boulders, the loose rocks that really makes it very, very difficult on the car's suspension, and it's absolutely vital setup if the car is going to be quick here. Now, Ford have dominated the last 3 Acropolis rallies. That is down to their Rega suspension, which is arguably the best rally stuff in the business. Now, with their lightweight titanium springs, the heavy-duty suspension arms, but also these whopping great shock absorbers, it comes to $10,000 each corner. That's a whopping $40,000 for the whole car. Now, the shock absorber itself is actually twice the size of any standard damper. It's not just the size of the pistons, which are 57 millimeters, just about 2 inches, which is double the size of a standard car, but it's also the suspension travel that they've got to go over all the rough conditions. That's 12 inches of suspension travel. They could have more, but they're very limited to what travel the wheel has within the wheel arch. Now, this suspension has to work 8 times harder than it would on any normal tarmac rally. The forces within this shock absorber on the rough conditions and in these very warm conditions also, the temperatures can get up to 350 degrees centigrade, and also a whopping 9,000 psi of pressure moves in and out through the shock absorber valves, of which there are very many in this unit. The shock absorber is set up perfectly for each event, but also has multiple adjustments. We've got adjustments for high speed and low speed bump, as well as rebound bump. The performance and the strength of the Rega suspension fitted to the Ford Focus has held them very good in the past. I think there's every possibility they're going to be just as quick this year.
The Ford has been very quick so far, but on stage 11, Colin McRae's Citroen was on the attack. Tommy Mäkinen's shock problem is getting worse. He's really struggling to keep control of the Impreza. That spin allows McRae to creep to within 1 second of his rival. Carlos Sainz is the second Citroen to benefit from Subaru's problems. Just under 4 miles into Drosselhori, and Petter Solberg's drive shaft breaks, and it happened in the worst possible place. Ahead lies a steep uphill climb through a succession of slow hairpins. It's going to be very hard work, and it's going to cost Petter a lot of time.
Hairpin left opens 2, keep in.
It's a bitter disappointment. Petter had a realistic chance of winning this rally, but he's lost a minute.
Okay. What do we have to do?
Harry Rovanperä is struggling to reach service and still throwing up dust. To give Martin a fair chance this time out, Ford have struck a deal with the rally organizers and Peugeot. Martin starts the stage 3 minutes behind Rovanperä, not the standard 2 minutes back, allowing the dust to settle and helping the Focus driver to protect his lead.
Martin. 34 left.
A true team effort by Ford here at Acropolis, as the political side is played out as well as the activities on the course here today. The Estonian uses the clear view to win the stage and extend his lead. Solberg's woes mean the 3 most winningest drivers in the championship are now in pursuit of Martin, but a 31-second lead keeps the pressure off. With more on that lead, here's Nicky.
Marco Martin has been the man of this rally so far. Let's analyse why he's been so fast. Compared to Burns at the top of your screen, Martin appears to be slower, but he's on the cleaner, harder line. In just 4 corners, he's gained 1 second on Burns alone.
Back at service, Malcolm Wilson's relieved that Peugeot and the organizers cooperated to give Martin a break with the dust.
We are talking a unique situation here. If you look at the previous stage, Marco actually finished on his bumper bar. I mean, he almost took 2 minutes off Harry Rovanperä. And I think, you know, we have to be sensible here, and we have to look at the sporting issues and what's at stake. And I have to say, I'm just very appreciative of the approach that Peugeot and the organisers took, and you know, took a very sympathetic view to what is a sporting decision at the end of the day.
Is it a question of using your experience on this rally, because you're judging the pace just right?
I'm pushing very hard since the beginning. Yesterday I was running third on the road. It was not the best. Today I'm running a little bit more on the back, so I can do a little bit better, I hope.
At Subaru, the mechanics had their hands full working on Petter's drive shaft problem. Petter himself has cooled down a bit as well.
Petter, a double stage win for you, then problems. What happened?
We just lost the drive. We won a drive shaft in the front, got loose, and we just didn't get so much speed forward, and we lost a little bit too much time.
Colin McRae, Tommy Mäkinen, and Carlos Sainz are all gunning for Marco Martin, who's still looking for his first WRC win. Will his luck hold out this year? Stay with us here on Speed Channel to find out as our Rally Acropolis continues. Welcome back. The Acropolis Rally has only just reached its midway point, but nearly 50% of the drivers are already out. Gearbox problems on day 1 means Richard Burns is running the spare, and this one has just lost second gear. Regulations state he's only allowed 2 gearboxes, and now both have problems. The championship lead could be slipping away.
To K-right minus 20, fast left plus 40, crest 10, slow K-left, long 20.
Didier Auriol's just lost 8th place to Harry Rovanperä, but 1 point will be a small consolation for the Peugeot driver. Not long ago, the chance of a win here at the Acropolis looked almost impossible for Colin McRae. Now, however, he's up to third, but still a minute behind Martin.
Into 6-rate open.
Tommy Mäkinen's fortunes are slipping away. He's off the pace and losing valuable time. He's 5th overall, but it's not the Tommy of old that we saw earlier this year in Sweden. Tommy's still trying to decide whether or not he's going to retire at the end of this year, and a lot of the open seats will depend on what he decides to do.
Oikein nopea plus aukeaa heti 4. Paha vasen pikkupompo. Ja pitkä K oikein miinus 4. Oikein nopea miinus. Kirraa pitkä paha oikein risteys.
Carlos Sainz is the only driver who's having a trouble-free run. Right now, he looks safe in 2nd place. Satisfying view for now for team boss Guy Frecklin. Tommy Mäkinen's loss of speed has handed teammate Petter Solberg a chance that even team loyalty won't allow him to miss out on.
Line into cut at 1 left.
Coming into the second run through El Atia, there's only 3.5 seconds between them.
4 left. Into short 2 right. To 2 left minus, tightens 1. Into 6 right bus and 4 left bus, opens of a bump. 50. Keep right of a crest, 40. 3 left minus.
Petter's now up to 4th. Marco Martin's led almost from the start of this rally, and he's still going strong. Fastest on stage 13, and he's showing no signs of being daunted by the event or the opposition or the return to the stage that he has felt has jinxed him in the past.
Care, crest 2 plus right, into 2 left, don't cut.
40 seconds the margin from Martin to Sainz, who has a comfortable lead over McRae and Solberg. Burns moves up to 6th, and Panizzi and Rovanperä are in the points as well. Meanwhile, back in service, Marco Martin is in a pretty good mood.
Why did you get the edge on that stage? Was it a question of tyre choice?
I don't know. I think Harry was on the same tyre, but these tyres were completely destroyed. I think it was just my driving style that we can do the same speed through the stage, not just the first part of the stage.
You've got 2 drivers behind you, Carlos Sainz and Colin McRae. They've won this rally a total of 8 times between them. Does that worry you?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to win my first, so I don't mind how many they have won.
I think, Marco's going very, very well at the moment. I think maybe there'll be more of a problem with the Ford than Marco.
What about your experience? We've talked about it this morning. You seem to really be there or thereabouts. You're getting a bit quicker, profiting from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, I can't really go much quicker than this at all. So, we've got to just keep the pace up and try not to lose any time, and hopefully, we can benefit if other people have problems.
3 former teammates battle it out as day 2 begins to wrap up, and as Colin said, they'll continue to find out just how hard they can push here at Acropolis. They're still 25 miles ahead on the last 2 stages of the day here in Greece. It's been a great display of skill by Gilles Panizzi, who is driving the customer Peugeot for Bosie and Racing, but he too is having problems with his shock absorbers. On stage 15, he slips behind Harry Rovanperä. On board now with Harry. Knowing every point is crucial, you can see how hard he's working to make up for the transmission problems he had earlier in the day.
Betoni, pitkä vasen K+ aukeaa 4. Lopussa pitkä oikein nopea suppuun 3. Vasen nopea sisältä 4. Nyt oikein laita täys jatkaa, vasen täys aukeaa.
And talking about the heat here at Acropolis, the temperatures can get as high as 131 degrees inside the cockpits. They do tint the windows to the sides of the cars for Acropolis, and that can knock the temperature down another 10 degrees.
Oikein nopea, vähän märkä. 3. Pitkä vasen nopea, älä. Ja huomio 5. Nyt oikein laita kuoli ja pitkä vasen nopeen. Tosi sisältä 5.
Tommy Mäkinen started the day in the battle for the lead and ends it down in 5th. The fight's not over just yet for the Finn. Knowing victory isn't out of the question, Colin McRae's pushing hard. He's 3rd on bauxite. He is unable to repeat the performance on the last stage. He's just 7th fastest and in a Subaru sandwich. Because Petter Solberg's efforts paid off, he moves in front of McRae for a podium position. That won't make Colin happy. This duel not over yet.
6 right plus to keep right to McRae. 16, neat shot 5 left, keep in. 20 shot 4 right plus. Opens 16, 6 left plus.
Carlos Sainz sat back in Turkey, played it safe and waited for the win. Maybe history will repeat itself tomorrow. I'm sure Marco Martin has thought about that, and just to make sure there's no doubt about how determined he is to win here, he sets another 2 fastest stage times.
30, 3 right, 3 left up the crest long, 70.
The Ford is 56 seconds ahead, and if he stays on form, he might become the winner here in Greece. But as the top 3 know, anything can happen.
Will it be possible to catch Carlos Sainz or perhaps even Marco Martin tomorrow?
Carlos will definitely be possible, yeah.
Not Marco?
He must do a mistake, definitely, but like I said, I had a mistake earlier today.
Do you feel you can catch Marco Martin tomorrow without him making a mistake?
For sure, if he is not making any mistake and he has no problem, I think he has a quite comfortable lead, but you never know.
With one day of the rally left to go, are you starting to think of victory at all?
We have been leading since the start, so that's quite okay to think about the winning, but it's still difficult stages tomorrow, and I'm happy that we got a bit of a cap for tomorrow, and then it's maybe don't have to take so many risks tomorrow.
Martin does have a little breathing room, but it won't be an easy night for Richard Burns. Forced to drive with a faulty gearbox, he just might lose his championship lead. Here's Nicky.
Well, Ralph, as you can see, the leading cars are waiting to come in after this dramatic second day. I've just been down to have a word with Marco Martin, and he really has got everything crossed ready for tomorrow. He's a little bit concerned, especially when you think back to Argentina when he led on the last day, and of course the problems on the first stage. But you know, he said that the first stages are not very easy tomorrow, and the last stage of the rally particularly is very, very tricky. He said he doesn't want a 5-second lead going in there because it's that difficult. But with 56 seconds, I think he can cruise it tomorrow. As you know, the silly season is just about with us, and there's a lot of talk around the service area. But it seems that really Subaru hold all the keys at the moment, and just to let you know, I've been past Subaru probably half a dozen times in the last couple of days, and I've seen Jimmy McRae there every single time, obviously trying to sell his 2 boys who have contracts up. Well, that's all from me, Ralph. I look forward to bringing you back some more news tomorrow. Back to you.
One has to wonder if Nicky was there as a speed reporter or as a co-driver looking for a new ride. Stay with us here on Speed.
This is the Acropolis Rally.
Welcome back to the final stages of the Acropolis Rally. Let's get you up to speed now on how things have shaped up so far. Marcus Grunholm came here after minor knee surgery, hoping to snatch the points lead, but a disconnected fuel pump put an end to his rally after day 1. That handed a great opportunity to Richard Burns to stretch out his championship lead, but he's starting to struggle. Both his main and spare gearboxes have problems, and he cannot switch to a third one. Down in 6th place and down on gears today will be a hard fight to get valuable points for Burns. Just 5 seconds in front of Burns is Tommy Mäkinen, but he's had trouble too. The constant pounding on the rough stages has punished his shock absorbers. Fighting to control the Impreza, Tommy slipped from 3rd to 5th. A 50-second time penalty seemed to spell the end of Colin McRae's chances on day 1, but he's fought back and starts the final stages chasing Petter Solberg for a podium spot. Carlos Sainz is starting to enjoy the event. He's had no serious problems and he sits in 2nd. But leading the rally is Marco Martin. The young Ford driver has been simply stunning so far. Not only has he been fast, but he's kept a cool head and survived everything the Acropolis can throw at him. First, Marco's hood flew up in his face. Then he drove blind in dust.
Super, when we cleared the stage, the dust was really, really bad.
And still, his rivals couldn't catch him. But Marco's been in this position before. In the last 2 events, he's been challenging for the win, and every time, the new Focus has let him down. Nearly a minute ahead of Sainz, only a big problem could deny Martin his first ever win. The last day has 6 grueling stages, adding up to over 60 miles of car-breaking conditions. With more on the mood headed into today, here's Penny.
So the final day of the Acropolis Rally, and the crews are set to complete 6 final special stages. 2 sets of 3. 2 of those stages are tight and twisty, and the 3rd one is a bit faster. But none of these crews have competed on them before, so there's no one with a distinct advantage, although Carlos Sainz in 2nd place does have a good reputation for being fast on unfamiliar territory. Last night in the press conference, Petter Solberg put his finger in Carlos's face and said, "I'm going to catch you, man." So expect a big battle there. He's only 21 seconds behind him. But the man that everyone will be watching today is Marco Martin in the Ford Focus. We could be looking at his first ever WRC win, and as he put it so well last night, it's time to happen. But will his Focus let him down?
The countdown begins at service. It's the last chance to make sure the car and driver are 100% ready to go. This is without a doubt the most important day in Ford's season so far, and the most important day in Marco Martin's entire WRC career. Team boss Malcolm Wilson tasted victory many times before in the WRC, but Marco hasn't. New Focus has already survived 2 punishing days, but it's absolutely crucial that it hangs in for 1 more.
Is the team nervous or excited?
I think everybody's basically concentrated on their job at the minute, and yeah, for sure there's quite a bit of pressure on the whole team. You know, we've been very close on the last 2 rallies, and I must admit I made the predicament that this would be the first victory, so as you can imagine there's quite a bit of pressure on me as well at the moment.
How much will it mean to win your first World Championship rally?
Let's find out that after the rally's finished, I think. Then I'll see how I feel.
Carlos, you were in the same situation as Marco Martin back in 1990, winning your first Acropolis Rally and your very first World Rally. What have you learned in 13 years so that you can beat him today?
I think he's in a good position to achieve his first victory, which I think he deserves as well. And I think unless he has a problem, nothing we can do. We are much more worried about behind than in front.
The first test of the day is a tricky one. De Castro is the twistiest stage of the rally. Gilles Panizzi is the first of 3 Peugeots to sample the surface. Better known for his skill on asphalt, he's been impressive on this loose gravel. Gilles is currently 8th overall.
Gauche à fond. 100 mètres. Droite à fond, long. Long et gauche à fond.
Harry Rovanperä is known as a gravel expert, and he's doing a great job for his team. The points he scores will be very valuable to Peugeot's title chances. With all the hairpins and a climb nearly 7 miles up into the mountains, Richard Burns would prefer to have second gear. Still, he'll fight for every precious point.
20. Flat right. In 20, K left. In 50. flat left, 1090 right, minus. To flat left, 30k right plus.
Tommy Mäkinen's desperate to hold Burns off, but he's not having a very good morning. Tommy stalled twice, but it won't cost him anything. To the 10th of a second, Mäkinen sets exactly the same time as Burns. Colin McRae's fired up for his battle with Petter Solberg. Despite the broken windshield, Colin's faster through the stage than Burns and Mäkinen. Petter Solberg's fans are crazy about the Norwegian, and he's hoping to reward them with a brilliant show.
Short one left plus. Slippy short one right minus 20.
Petter relishes a challenge, and keeping McRae off his tail is a pretty big one.
And narrow short to right. 20. Slippy short hairpin right tightens. 20. Short one left minus tightens. Into one right plus, half long, tightens narrow. One left minus, opens half long. Into two right minus, extra long, tightens. Okay.
Petter is incredibly quick and hangs on to third. Carlos Sainz just can't get the feeling right in the car in this early test, and he starts to lose a lot of time. Remember, Petter is just seconds behind the Spaniard, so the pressure is really on. The drivers will spend a lot of time sitting in the sauna getting ready for this event. In fact, each driver will drink about 10 large bottles of water just to replenish himself after the day. The fight behind is good news for Marco Martin, but he won't be comfortable until he finishes the rally with his lead intact.
Into three right long, tightens to two. Into two minus left. Opens to three. Three plus right long.
The gap to Carlos in second is now over a minute. Martin's only battle appears to be with himself, but there's still plenty to look forward to. With 5 gravel stages to go, the leaderboard could still change. Stay tuned. On to stage 18 in 12 miles of New Tarzan. Richard Burns is putting in an amazing run. Even with the gearbox problems, he's as quick as the leaders. He's third fastest. Tommy Mäkinen is not happy with his tire choice, and he's starting to think it's slowing him down. At the end of the stage is where he'll find out whether or not the tire choice is as bad as he thinks.
Oikein yli heti pitkä helppo vasen plus pomppii maaliin. Ja helppo oikein aukeaa yli.
He's right, 5 seconds slower, leaving just 0.4 of a second between him and Burns. Colin McRae's not letting up. He's powering through, but is he catching Petter?
Left, Payton before Maynard. Into right, Payton to slip.
Petter never has any problems high-speed dancing with his Subaru. He used to be a disco dancing teacher. In fact, he won a few contests doing that.
Extra long, keep in of a crest, 60. Short 6 right, keep in. Into 6 left of a crest, keep in. Into short 5 right of a jump, 50. Okay.
And he's really found the rhythm here today. He wins a second stage in a row, and Sainz is in big trouble. Sainz needs a flawless run through Tarzan if he's to hold Solberg off. A scary moment, and it means Solberg eats even further into El Matador's time. Every inch of the road that Marco Martin passes without incident is a step closer to that first WRC win. But there's anxious moments in the focus. It appears something's wrong.
Okay. 40, flat right crest. 50, care.
It's not in the notes. It's a broken anti-roll bar, which will affect the handling.
30, crest.
The problem only cost Martin 5 seconds, and he's still a minute ahead. But look at what's going on behind him. Sainz is in a desperate struggle with Solberg, while Mäkinen must pick up the pace to hold off the hard-charging Burns.
All the stages today are new for most drivers. This test climbs steeply from the start, then levels off across a ridgeline. Here it is very fast and narrow, with blind crests into tricky flat-out sections. It's not for the faint-hearted. After this, it descends to the finish on a slow and twisty road. This test is the one most drivers are talking about, and no one wants to fight for seconds in here. Although it's the shortest stage of today, I guarantee it'll feel the longest.
Agios Stefanos is the last stage of the morning. Then it's off to service for some much-needed care and attention. And this is why Richard Burns earns the big bucks. No second gear, and still Richard's guiding the car with pinpoint accuracy through the corners, and he's still pushing Mäkinen.
Tightens in. To fast right forward, in low, to hairpin right, tight. To K right, minus. 20, 90 left, 30. K right, 40 braking, fast right minus, camber tightens 20, 90 left, plus, in, 20, flat right, to flat left.
Notice that the gear display is gone and that Richard is manually shifting the car.
20.
With 4 world titles, Tommy Mäkinen is a rally legend, and you can bet he's not going to just roll over for Burns.
Maaliin. Vahvasen sumppu maalin jälkeen.
Tommy ups the pace and lays down the challenge as he wins the stage. This is Colin McRae. His last 2 rallies have ended in retirement, and his championship chances demand a good result here. There's a communication problem developing between McRae and co-driver Derek Ringer.
I've got the mic right up against my mouth, so the thing must have gone down.
Just speak a bit louder, Lem. I can't pick out the don't cuts and the cuts.
We talked about at the beginning of the show how Petter Solberg is always fast, but struggles to put a whole rally together. It's not always his fault, but if he wants to make the top of the podium, he's going to have to do that here today. Carlos Sainz would like to keep Solberg down in 3rd. He ups the pace to hold the Subaru off for now. Marco Martin can't wait to get back to his team. In the 20-minute stop, his handling problems are going to have to be fixed. He's going to need a perfect car to make it to the finish.
6 left tightens, 6 minus over crest. 50, 5 right, 40, 3 minus right.
Everyone's held position, but the gaps are closing stage by stage. Martin's problems have cost him a few seconds, and now more than ever, he'll be relieved to see his Ford mechanics.
Three seconds down on Tommy. Can you do him?
I'll try. We took a few seconds off him on the second stage, but like I say, I can't. If I try too hard, then there's quite a high risk that I damage the gearbox more, because we're using 3rd gear so much more. Then obviously the possibility of that failing is quite high. So I have to be really careful.
It's amazing how fast it goes with 3 gears. It seems to be incredible engine in Peugeot, because with 3 gears, I'm sure it's not so easy.
Do you think you can hold him off?
Yeah, I think it might be all right.
Petter, 0.9 of a second between you and Carlos Sainz. You must be able to beat him to get that 2nd place.
I took 20 of him this morning, so it should be possible to take 20 more.
What does it feel like to take 20 seconds off the 2 times World Rally Champion?
That's good, yeah.
You ready, Tom? With those 3 stages left to go, have you allowed yourself at all to think about spraying that winning champagne?
No, it's too early. We'll just have to still concentrate and drive the car through 3 stages, so it's hopefully everything stays in together and we can have a trouble-free run.
We're only halfway through the final day of the Acropolis Rally. Stay here for more of the World Rally Championship. Welcome back to the Acropolis Rally. Back by popular demand, Nicky Grist was able to handpick a few of the best onboards. Hope you enjoy.
Here's Rovanperä on a classic Greek stage.
Vähän vasen oikein eri 3. Nypyn yli vasen eri. Jatkaa. Oikein täys aukeaa 4. Tai oikein nopea rytky. 5. Tai nypy yli pitkä vasen nopea. 3. Nypyn yli oikein nopea ahdas. Pitkä vasen eri plus jatkaa. Huomio. Rytky nopea oikein laita usko.
Did you see those loose rocks lying at the road? Just another added danger for the drivers.
Opens of a crest, 80. Early shot, 5 right
Here's
bus.
Solberg on Bauxite Way. Absolutely flat out action.
5 right bus and 6 left over crest, 100. 6 left bus, caution 30, cut 2 right bus, double tightens minus slippy. Keep in. Into 4 left plus, opens at the crest, 80. Narrow, early 6 left plus into cut shot, 6 right. And flat, 6 left plus, 150. Don't cut, shot, 5 right tightens, keep in. Into flat, 6 left, 60. Shot, 6 left, don't cut flat, 6 right, opens, 80. Short, 6 right plus, 40. Cut, short, 6 left minus, 50. 6 right plus, 120. Keep left over crest and line to unseen, 3 right bus, tightens slippy gravel. Into 4 left long, tightens keep in. Into short 4 right, 100.
It's not for the faint-hearted.
Flat 6 left plus over crest, half long, keep in 40, short 5 right plus.
Easy right 20, easy right in. To crest slight left, 100. Right max 60, flat left.
Here's Burns. He's flat out trying to get 4th place. But just check the double shifting on the gear stick as he's missing out his lost 2nd gear.
Medium right minus, long 40. K left in 30. K right plus long to medium right minus 30. 90 left minus in 40. K right minus hook. Tightens. To flat left 50, easy right in, to flat left 40, fast right in, to long crest flat left into hairpin right.
That's some great action and really flat out over crests and jumps towards the end.
60.
Obviously some of the best drivers in the world. Stay with us, we'll be right back. It's 1:30 in the afternoon at the Acropolis Rally and the sun is blazing. Temperatures in the car can soar to over 110 degrees, but not for Richard Burns. He's experimenting with an air conditioning system, and his car's temperature is around 85. However, Richard is turning up the heat as he pursues Mäkinen. But the Finn's fed up with playing cat and mouse with Burns. This is Tommi Mäkinen living up to his legendary status. He's faster again and 7 seconds ahead.
Heti pitkä paha vasen aukeaa heti.
Tight one right.
With 2 cars in the top 5, Subaru is finally having a good weekend. But Solberg knows how he can make his team bosses really happy. That's by taking 2nd away from Sainz.
2 left minus tightens 40.
As Sainz approaches the end of the stage, the clock on the right shows Solberg's time.
Para derecha calenta, poco tarde de cierre, se cierra, abrirse 1. ¿Cuánto? 16.06.
Fresh from service, all's well again in Marco Martin's focus. Even if he wins today, he still has to stick around tomorrow to give a bunch of Croatian journalists rides.
21 right here. 3 left. 3 minus right, 3 minus left, Eri. 53 right.
Marco's cautious approach cuts his lead to just over 40 seconds, but it's a new man behind him now, Petter Solberg. A little further down, Tommy Mäkinen's pulling away from Burns, but not by a whole lot. Burns is displaying a dogged determination to outclass Mäkinen. And it's starting to look like the Finn's feeling the pressure. Tommy's slower than Burns, who's now just 1/10 of a second away. Colin McRae just might have to settle for fourth. His only chance of catching Solberg is if the Norwegian runs into trouble. But it's McRae who runs into problems. Suddenly, the engine dies. Anxiously checking all the switches and fuses, McRae finds the problem. It is his electronic throttle. Derek Ringer is sent out to activate the emergency get home mode, which means dramatically reduced performance.
40.
Oblivious to McRae's woes, Petter Solberg charges out.
Right to the
He's
big bump.
determined to hold off signs.
No.
A lucky escape for Petter. Going once again with just some cosmetic damage, but there's more trouble ahead. Solberg now runs into a serious dust storm. What he can't see is that it's from the crawling Citroen of McRae. Colin's rear view is also obscured. He doesn't realize Solberg is there. Once he feels a chrome horn, he immediately pulls over.
Just passed over.
Oblivious to all that drama, Martin's trouble-free run continues. Just one more test, and the Estonian could be the winner of the formidable Acropolis Rally. At the end of the stage, not everybody, however, is smiling.
Petter, you've got some damage. Can you tell us what happened?
It went off.
How far into the stage?
Carlos was in front, Colin was in front of us, and he didn't move over.
On the road section, McRae reports back to base.
Did you get the message? No, the engine stopped and there was no throttle. His
teammate Sainz moves on to the final stage. He too has to be worried about a similar problem. An unhappy Solberg then hands second place to Sainz. Colin McRae suffered more though. He's down in 8th. That leaves only the battle between Mäkinen and Burns to be decided. One more very tricky stage of the Acropolis left. Stay right here with us for the finish. This is it, the final stage of the Acropolis Rally. If things stay as they are, Richard Burns will still hold on to his championship lead. It's a matter of pride now to overtake Tommy Mäkinen and finish 4th. Tommy, however, cannot afford to lose any time.
Hyppyn aukeaa 4. Oikein huomio 15. Nyppy jatkuu pitkä oikein nopea. Nyppy jatkuu pitkä oikein nopea. 6 alas. Paha vasen sumppuun. Heti pitkä paha oikein.
He's much slower. It's been a hard fight for Burns, who takes 4th. Peugeot will be ecstatic. It's been a brilliant and mature display from Marco Martin. He has said in the past that there are cross-country skiers back in Estonia more popular than him. However, his local newspaper back in Estonia received over 5,000 messages cheering him on for today.
70, 5 plus right, tightens to crest, late 3 minus right. 50.
As he turns the corner and sees a finish, he's made it, and he joins the illustrious list of WRC winners. And he even got a phone call from the president of Estonia to congratulate him.
That'll do.
Can you believe it? We finished it, no problems.
Excellent.
Thanks for that. Good man, Marco. Well done. Excellent. Clear a stage. Yeah, fantastic. Well done.
I'm very happy. We have been working really hard to get that result, and finally we got it. It's a great result for us and great result for the team. It's been a lot of team effort to make that new focus win a World Championship event.
Thank you. Shit, it's a long time.
I'm glad for you, for all of you.
Thank you very
really,
much.
from the bottom of my heart. Well done, everybody.
And thanks for your help.
It's well-deserved praise. Martin's done it in style. He grabbed the lead on the second stage and set about building a healthy 40-second margin. Among the other point scorers, Harry Rovanperä and Joe Panizzi.
Carlos, you got that second place and treated us to a great battle with Petter Solberg.
Yeah, it has been quite tight during the last couple of days, but at the end, work okay, and we got the 8 points.
You got that podium, but you just couldn't beat Carlos Sainz.
Well, I had him, you know, in my hand, and but I came behind Colin. I think I lost second place there, honestly.
Many congratulations on that very first World Rally victory.
Thanks a lot. It's been a very tough weekend for me. It started quite an uphill struggle for us, but then it got better, and luckily our car's been absolutely spot on. Really reliable this weekend, no worries at all. So we just could concentrate on driving, and no other worries. So it's been a great team effort to make that happen.
10 points from Martin puts him fourth in the championship. Richard Burns extends his lead, but Carlos Sainz isn't far away. Both Subaru drivers add to their points tally. In the Manufacturers' Championship, Peugeot holds on to their lead from Citroën. Well, after driving brilliantly to take his and the new Ford Focus's maiden WRC victory, Marco happily accepts the award from Nicky Grist. Marco will get a check for $5,000 to give to his favorite charity.
Marco, well done. Well deserved.
Down with the Ford team now, here are Penny and Nicky.
So there's the Ford Focus of Marco Martin just being cleaned up for the finish ramp, his first ever World Championship win.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for him. It's well deserved. He's had everything thrown at him, but he's come through on top.
Now, you won in Greece last year. You know what it feels like to win here, but what does it feel like to win your first ever event?
Well, okay, Greece is not an easy rally to win, for one, and he's done an excellent job. But I think winning your first event, he won't really sort of sink in until next week, for sure.
But this rally win he's really worked hard for it, hasn't it? It hasn't come easy.
No, he hasn't. With the dust problems of Rovanperä, there he goes. Well done, boy. And of course, with the bonnet incident as well, that was an absolutely remarkable situation. But he's kept plugging away with fastest times, and he thoroughly deserves his win.
And he's got such a cool head, and as a result of all that, you've given him Star of the Rally Award,
yes,
which he thoroughly deserves. But there's another star that nobody's really picked up on in this rally. Tell me about him.
Yes, it's a young guy called Jari-Matti Latvala. I mean, he's finished 10th on this rally. He's been just plugging away, but he's the youngest ever factory driver at 18, and I think he's got a very bright future.
So there's one we must look out for in the future.
Yeah.
I am absolutely roasting hot. It's been absolutely fantastic. Very hard work for everyone, particularly the drivers and drivers. But I've got one question left to ask you, and that is, who's going to buy the beers? Because we both predicted Marco was going to win this rally.
We did, absolutely so. But being that you didn't buy me a beer after I won on the last event, I think it's your turn.
Okay, we're going to maybe have a little discussion about this. In the meantime, we'll see you in Cyprus, back to the studio.
Never surprised that Nicky didn't take his round of buying. Have one for me, guys. Up next, it's time to pack up and cross the water for Rally Cyprus. Again, Speed brings you exclusive same-day Sunday coverage, 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, July 22nd. Right now, however, it's time for Marco and Michael Park to celebrate their much-deserved first WRC win. I'm sure champagne will never have tasted as good as it did on top of the podium. So for Penny Mallory and Nicky Grist, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Congratulations, Marco. Thanks for joining us.